Welcome back to our third episode, Cafecito Corner. We are drinking Starbies today. What's your drink today, Edward?
I had to get a cold brew. It was a long morning.
You're tired this morning?
Yeah, so I just got their macadamia nut one, like the seasonal one. I always get their seasonal cold brew. That's the best one.
Yeah, I can't do any.
Pistachio's the best for sure.
You like the pistachio one? They
Yeah.
don't have it right now?
September through probably December, maybe November.
Seasonal drink.
Yeah, I wait for that one.
Oh my god.
That's like the only time I'll get Starbucks every morning.
I didn't even taste like pistachio when I had it.
Did you get which one? The latte or the cold brew?
The latte.
The cold brew is way stronger.
Oh yeah.
Like the pistachio, you can actually smell it.
This didn't even taste nothing, but you like the nutty Starbucks drinks.
No shame in that.
But I honestly just got a regular basic iced coffee. Cold brews, I don't like to drink them because I feel like they give me anxiety and they make my stomach hurt. So
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, they're strong.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm jittery all day, especially since we haven't eaten. I would be shaken up in
That's
this
breakfast
chair.
for champs.
God. Yeah, so I just got a regular iced coffee today, and I'll probably pair it up with my croissants that I made last night.
Okay.
Yeah. I had
the ones we got from Trader Joe's.
I had a whole baking session yesterday. I got chocolate croissants from Trader Joe's, baked them last night. They were amazing. So I'm going to have some after this.
I think for the amount of bread that you like, you need to start learning how to knead it and
Yeah, I know. I have some people that make sourdough bread at home. That's too much work for me. I'll probably never.
And maybe tortillas and tamales are next.
Yeah, I'll probably have to hit up your mom to show me.
Yeah, she'll show you.
She makes tortillas?
Oh yeah.
Does she do it often?
She used to a lot. There was times that she was probably doing it for all the meals.
Wow.
But now that she's busy working now.
Yeah. Now I think I still have some aunts, some tias that make tortillas for every meal, which I'm like, God, I would literally. I'm so glad my mom didn't because I'd literally be rolling
yeah.
off the couch.
I was never fat when I was with my parents, so
I don't know how your mom fed you really good. It's like we gained weight after we moved out.
I just feel like now, we're always eating out, and you know, if I was home, whatever my mom made would fill me up. But now, you can have an In-N-Out meal, and it will not fill you up because of all the empty calories. I don't know.
It's easier to choose when you go out to eat unhealthy options. Get the side of fries. For me, it's
or the spicy McChickens.
Yeah, or get the milkshake.
I'm not a milkshake guy, but
I'm a milkshake kind of gal.
Yeah.
I love my milkshakes, and Chick-fil-A has really, really good milkshakes.
I think they have the best milkshake for sure.
They had a peach one that was so good.
That place that opened up on Santan. Well, it's the first one was in Tempe that I remember.
Which one?
The Portillo's.
Oh, Portillo's. Yeah.
What is it? Chocolate cake shake?
Oh my God. So they either have a chocolate cake slice or a shake. You had the shake last time, and I had the cake. And let's tell them a little bit about that. I was so excited. I brought you home I shared a piece of cake with my mom at the restaurant, and then I brought home another piece of cake for you to try because I'm like, oh my God, Edward would love this. You took too long, and the cake was staring at me, and things got out of hand, and one thing led to another, and the cake was gone.
I only had a bite left. The same thing happened with my birthday cake. That cake was bomb, and you went and got it, and where was it from? Cold Stone, probably.
It was the Cold Stone cookies and cream.
I love cookies and cream.
And I chose that one because I like
slice.
That. Yeah.
And you gave a tiny slice to everybody, and then it disappeared.
I don't know how.
So I was like, we're for sure gonna see it tomorrow.
I'm all for the morning cafecito.
And then I forgot about it for 2 days and it was gone.
I don't know how. Truly.
God. That was such a good cake.
It's literally the best cake. We need to get that for my birthday.
Yeah.
You're getting that.
But what was the other place that you really liked when we went to Cali? Portillo's?
No,
Portillo's is over here.
Portillo's
is over there, yeah. We went to the one in West Covina, I think.
Oh my God. If you're from Cali, you are so blessed because you guys have Portos.
Yeah, you were like in Disneyland.
We got there. We had to get there super early because I guess there's a line. We got there at like...
Well, first of all, we didn't know about the line. The first day we went, we just walked in.
Because we went super early.
And then just asking some cousins around, they're like, oh, like, how were you able to get in? Like, did you line up? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But remember, I think we went during the week, no?
Yeah, we went during the week. It was before Universal. We had to get up super early.
We went like a Thursday morning.
It was empty. And we were like, oh, like, this is the normal. Like, let's go again tomorrow morning before we leave back to AZ. No, the line wrapped around the building 5 times, and I was so sad. I was literally crying in the parking lot.
They had like this guava pastry that I still dream about.
Oh my god, I literally wanted to take the employees home. I was like, I need you guys to come to AZ, make some of these.
As soon as we finished our lunch, you went and asked this girl, you're like, do you guys plan on coming to Arizona soon? She's like, I just work here. I have no idea.
Like, go ask the manager. I don't know. I'm like, damn.
She's like, I just got hired yesterday.
Yeah, but oh my god, Portos, to me, thank God they don't have in Arizona, because if I gained 15 pounds, I would probably gain another 15 with that easily.
Yeah.
Easily. So
it was pretty bomb. I thought their coffee was pretty fire too. Like the little coffee shop they had.
Yeah. The fresh orange juice, horchata, like latte, insane.
But then like my Cali cousins tell me that if you want a birthday cake from there, you have to like order months ahead or like weeks. Advance. Maybe it's weeks, but yeah. There's no way you can just go pick up a cake for today.
We should go just to get my birthday cake next month.
So I'm going to drive 6 hours for your birthday cake?
Yeah. Oh my god, that's
and drive
amazing. Back. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So we're going. Let's start with our peak and pits of the week. Who wants to go first?
It's better when you start it.
Okay. Well, when I start, I don't know when I'm going to finish talking, so get ready.
Go for it.
So I have a couple peak and pits, mostly Pete's. Mostly
Pete Davidson's.
Mostly peaks, but one of them is kind of staying consistent at the gym. I've been proud of myself this week. I've been going, and if I don't go to the gym, we have a treadmill here at home that I run a mile, which usually takes me 12 minutes to run a mile jogging. And then I do like a really high incline for the last 20 minutes. So proud of myself for that. It's been good.
Didn't you just switch to gyms too?
Mm-hmm. I was going to a gym called Esporta, which I hated because it was so nasty.
Yeah. They really let that thing go.
You walk in and it's just like the smell of like...
There's no smell.
Sweat, pits, and all the above. It was just too much. So I switched gyms, and this one's so much nicer. They have classes like if you were at F45 or
Which
Orange Theory.
It's Mountainside, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mountainside. And mind you, I was going to Orange Theory and F45 paying like lots of money a month. And I literally have the same thing there, which is nice. So I love it. So yeah, that is one of my peaks, is staying consistent at the gym. It feels really good. Like truly, I feel I have more energy. Don't you feel like when you go to the gym, you have more energy?
Yeah, especially if you gym in the morning.
Yeah, well, you can't because you have to do shopping in the morning, but
yeah. But I miss gymming in the mornings. That was nice.
Yeah, you kind of get it over with, but yeah. But one of my other peaks is getting my clients under contract.
Nice.
Yes.
These have been looking for a bit, no? Or no?
Yeah.
No?
So, this family reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and the process was kind of, took a while. The pre-approval process always takes a while. And we were looking at regular homes, and then we started looking at new builds. And obviously, you know, when you look at new builds,
you stay in a new build.
You stay in a new build because there's no comparing it to
a used home.
A used home. Yeah. Just everything. I hope our next home is a new build. It's the best because you choose everything, so you feel like it's your home. But yeah, we found this new build community, and we went under contract. They found a really, really great home, like right next to the mountain. So nice, so beautiful. So I'm excited.
It was by like Ahwatukee, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, South Mountain area. It's really nice.
Yeah, everything's like kind of new over there.
I didn't know, like, we don't ever go to that side of town. We don't really get out of our bubble, to be honest.
No, but yeah, there's a lot of like factories and stuff going in there. So like I can only imagine neighborhoods popping up.
Yeah. It's really, really nice. It's like a little hidden gem. And your backyard is literally the mountain. So like you could go hiking.
That's nice.
But they were asking, they're like, do you think that there's a lot of snakes here? And I'm like,
oh, there might.
Oof.
I mean, we have kind of like a scorpion problem here in Mesa.
A what? Scorpion?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a spider problem, I feel like.
And then at certain times, like where the restaurant is on that part of Mesa, the crickets are crazy.
Crickets?
Yeah, you know how we get like a bunch of like huge crickets?
I'd rather deal with the cricket than a scorpion anytime.
Yeah, or a snake, yeah.
A snake? How do you get rid of a snake? Like a spider or a scorpion, you just get the chancla out and you step on it. But a snake?
You adopt it.
No, I could not. But I
couldn't either.
We have geckos here at the new house, and
yeah,
those creep me out because they move fast.
I mean, but they're just like cute. They don't bite or anything.
I'd rather deal with a scorpion than a gecko any day.
No.
Any day. No. At my parents' house, we had scorpions like every day probably. And I was used to it.
Yeah, but none of them bit you, right?
No, they bit my mom. And I saw what she went through.
Yeah, so I'd rather not deal with that and have a gecko at my house.
Yeah, that's bad. And the thing is, like, scorpions, they're kind of like, they transition into the color that they're on. What's it called? They change color.
Yeah, like whatever chameleons do. Like
chameleons,
they blend in.
They blend in, and so I cannot with scorpions. But
yeah,
welcome to Arizona. Yeah. I feel like Cali doesn't have that problem.
No, they have a bear problem.
Bears?
I mean, in some parts.
Yeah, but we'll just have to move to Florida to deal with the crocodiles. But yeah, so those are my peaks of the week. And also finally getting a pedicure done because I needed it. But let's get into, why don't you go into your pits? Then I'll go back to my.
Yeah, I start negative all the time.
Yeah, you always like to start with your
my
pits.
Pit was that this week for sure. Like my pit has been like the Airbnb guest I have.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like every couple months, like we'll just have like, there's no in between. You either have like super easygoing people that like just don't care. They'll ask maybe for one item. You can just DoorDash it or drop it off like 4 or 5 hours later.
Low maintenance people.
Low maintenance, you know? But like there's just times that you have people and it's like, oh, like there's no extra sheets. And I'm like, there's enough sheets for like the amount of people you told me you were coming.
And
like,
your stay amount.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, we have an extra 4 coming. I'm like, well, my house doesn't hold an extra 4. Like there's an limit.
Extra charge.
Yeah. Or not even that. There's no room. Like what are you doing?
I know, that's true.
And they'll be like, oh, well, you're supposed to supply this. I'm like, no, we have like a capacity, you know, like there's a reason we have a capacity. Cause like, that's all we offer.
You can't fit 10 people in a 3-bedroom.
And then, so it's just fighting back and forth about things. And then, oh, like, we don't like these pods. And I'm like,
oh, the coffee
pods. I'm like, this is the only thing we have. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we have a variety pack.
Oh my God.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you go to a hotel, like, they offer you a couple things, but if you don't like them, like, you just don't use them.
You get what you get, or you go out for coffee. Like, yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. Extremely high maintenance this week. Like, I've taken, like, 8 trips out there. Just dropping stuff off, but it's good. They leave in like a couple days.
When you drop off stuff, do you just leave it?
I leave it. I don't like to deal with them. Because like the first time I went, I did. And they asked me to come in and they were just asking me about everything.
I feel like when you have older people, they always want to talk to you.
Well, they're not older. It's like a family. It's 2 parents in their 40s. They have like 3 kids. And like you can kind of tell that the kids know that their parents are annoying. Because they're like, oh my God, Mom. Like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
like,
not again.
Yeah, or like we offer them like Netflix and like a couple, and then Hulu with like live TV, and then they're like, "Well, we like HBO." I'm like,
"You're lying."
Log in, like you know, like I'm not. I put on my listing what I offer. I don't just offer whatever you want. Like that's not how it works. So yeah, this week has been super high maintenance, but it's fine. They'll be gone soon.
I wonder if you can just ignore them.
Well, but then I don't like to do that because then they put a review. So I like to just
And
take care of it.
For Airbnb, their reviews are like the number one thing.
What about you? What's your pit?
My pit has probably... I don't really have that many. This week has been pretty good, thankfully. But probably, like I said, I got a pedicure done, which I needed to. But the lady who always does my pedicure, and you're probably not going to care at all, but the girlies out there will know that when you have a nail person, or like probably you with your hair, you probably go to the same guy when you get your hair cut. That's like me with my nails. Like I go to the same person, and I've been going to with them for a year, and she's just out of town. Like she's going to be out of town for a month, and I don't know when she's coming back. So I had to go with somebody different. And
so it's your first breakup?
Yeah, literally my first breakup. And the lady who did my nails, like she was just like being so hard on them, like hurting me. And so the whole time I was like, you're supposed to enjoy that service. And I was like grabbing the chair the whole time because it's so painful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just like...
You always try to get me to go. I'm like, I just don't know how I feel about people touching my feet.
I want you to go so bad because it's relaxing. Well, it should be relaxing. It was not. I was holding on for my dear life.
That's so bad.
It's because they tickle you, and
I was about to say I'm very
ticklish. My lady
ticklish.
knows that I don't like to be tickled, and she was going at it with the scraper.
Yeah.
And I was holding on like it was bad.
And you want me to go do that? Like I can't even have the dogs lick my feet, or I'll kick them.
I'll hook you up. That's mean. I'll hook you up with my lady. Yeah, you don't like when people touch your toes, but once a year you need to get those honkers done.
No.
It's maintenance,
I'd rather have different shaped nails.
Your nails are like this, like a triangle. Like you're ready to... That's a weapon, Edward.
Well, you never know. You might have to pull a blade on somebody.
Imagine we're getting robbed at Fruity. I'm like, Edward, whip
my toe out.
Take your toes out real quick. Yeah. But yeah, that was my definitely pit, is not having my pedicure lady. Gosh, it was horrible. I went to 3 different places, but... Yeah, and then probably driving to South Mountain. I don't like driving far, especially in traffic hour. I get kind of anxious, so I have to put a podcast in the background, be chewing gum.
Do you put this one or do you put another one?
Oh, I put this one. No. I honestly hate hearing myself.
I have not heard a single one of our podcasts.
I'm the one that edits the podcast, and tell me by the time I'm done with it, I do not want to hear it ever again. Because I'm hearing the same words 5 million times.
I don't think anybody likes hearing their voice. You know what I'm saying?
No. And I've heard a lot of people who do podcasts, they don't listen to it. They just put it and they don't listen to it.
Well, I've seen people that even do that, like actors. They'll never watch their movies because they're like, I don't want to see what I do.
Oh my God. No, I wouldn't do that.
I would totally do that.
Not watch your own movie after filming for 2 years?
Yeah, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, I don't like... Edward doesn't like listening to his own voice.
It's not that. It's just that's... imagine acting. I'd be like, oh, that's not who I am.
We have gotten, though, that our voices are very, radio voices, good for podcasts. And I'm like, how? I literally sound...
Yeah.
Like a freaking squirrel.
Yeah, I sound like a Mexican that just came from Mexico.
Edward, you did come from Mexico.
But recently. Fresh off the boat.
Off the border.
Fresh off the border. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, driving to South Mountain. I don't like to drive far. And I was actually thinking about that. Could I ever drive with my friends to Cali? I don't think I could. And that's so sad.
Yeah, that's why you make me drive.
Yeah, you're definitely the driver. But that's so sad.
And then you always go, we'll leave right now so we can get more time. I'll stay up with you.
Yeah.
We'll hit Avondale and you're snoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, wow, what a co-pilot.
Yeah, so it's sad that I'll probably never drive to Cali alone. I'll have to take you.
Yeah. You're not the best co-pilot.
I just get anxious, yeah.
Not only that, but you'll switch my music and pass out. And I'm like, now I'm having to deal with swapping my music.
Yeah, I can't. I can't with your music. It makes me fall asleep. Your music makes me fall asleep. That's what it is.
But you'll be listening to your own music. You're like, oh, I'll stay up. Let me put some beats on.
Pass out the next minute later.
Yeah, so now I gotta switch the Bluetooth. I gotta not have it so loud so you can sleep.
Yeah, and then I fall asleep. I'm like, turn it down.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta stay up. You made us leave at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So, yeah, probably driving far was my other pit. But and then probably not going to the movies this week. I feel like there was some good movies that we missed out on.
Well, I went. You
went. You didn't take me. No, well, I'm kidding. You invited me, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the movies that day. But there were some good ones. We'll have to go soon.
Yeah, I think that was actually my peak. Seeing the new Spider-Man. That movie was good. I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan, and the first one was really good. So I was like, usually sequels suck, and this one was just as good. So that was pretty surprising.
Was it live action or like cartoons?
This is an animated one.
Oh, animated.
Yeah, which I don't know. You kind of don't like animated movies.
I think that's why I didn't go with you.
No, you like the Pixar ones.
But the last live action Spider-Man was really good. That's when you told me it was animated. I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw the first one. I don't remember where I saw it. I think I just saw it on HBO. But no, it was really good.
Was it long?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
So no, it was a good movie. What else happened this week? I got a lot of free food.
Oh,
I have a friend that's like all into bots and codes and stuff, and he sent me like 2-3 codes this week for free food, and we ended up getting.
What did we end up getting? I don't remember. Was
I got Jersey Mike's for like $1. I got like 3 subs.
Yeah, for $1.
Yeah, it was like $1.82 or something.
For 3 subs, that's insane.
And then what else did we get? We got like a Venetia's like whole meal, like salad pizza. Mm-hmm. For like a couple bucks. I think that was like $5.
Yeah.
And then there was something else. It was like a Target code. And then we ended up like door dashing something, and I got $25 off something as well.
Yeah, your friend is definitely the plug.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah. Shout out Harky.
If I ever see him, I'm gonna be like, You
have fed me.
Yeah, you have fed me. Given me the best discounts.
I don't know.
Because he's on it. Like, that's his job. Yeah. So he has to be on it. If you had time, you'd be on it.
He used to do that full time. And his whole thing was sneaker reselling. He used to have the coolest sneakers all the time. I found that stuff so interesting. So
that's crazy.
But now he's like into reselling everything. Into like codes and bots.
So he sells anything now. It's not just sneakers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of stuff.
We got, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couple things good price too.
Yeah. Like a $500 speaker for like $100.
The food gets me excited though.
I know.
Like that's insane. And like do the restaurants know about it, or is it something that...
No, like it'll just be like codes that like DoorDash gives out, and then the Jersey Mikes, they knew about it. I just don't think they were like...
Were there a lot of people in line?
Yeah.
Oh my...
There was a couple of TikToks I was like watching that people quit on the spot. Like...
What?
Yeah, and then like the lines were so bad, tickets through the floor. I'll have to show you the videos.
Wait, was there a line when you went though?
I got it delivered. I never went.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, I would quit too. I could not handle that stress.
Yeah, it was like $1.82 delivered. My cousin Jonathan went because Harky texted him the code too. But he decided to do a pickup because he was just going through Queen Creek, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, the tickets were to the ground.
The line was bad.
So I was like, dang.
Oh my god. Yeah. When I see lines like at Fruity, I
panic.
I get anxious.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
is.
Like
when the lights go down, you'd be like, oh my god, Edward. And I'm like, what?
Power, cause
what? And then I'm freaking out, like trying to get the hotspot going or something so that the tablet works. You're like, when is the
power?
The power coming back on? I'm like, I don't work for SRP. I have no idea.
We have a line out the door, and then everything goes. Whoo.
The thing is, just like people are impatient. Like
aren't.
No, they're not. Like,
oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, how are we gonna control that the internet and the lights went out?
And they're yelling at me on the register, and so I'm like, I literally can't take your order because it's not gonna go through. Like,
yeah.
And they're just staring at me. I'm like,
and then there's like a couple things that don't work when the power go out, like our shaver and stuff. So I'm like,
everything goes out.
So I'm kind of helping the girls, like, you can make this, you can't make this, you can make this, but you can't make this.
I still freak out.
And then, and you and all the girls come up to me like, is it coming back? I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's not how power works. Like, it comes back when it comes back. Like,
surprisingly, it's happened to us a lot of times.
It's because of the monsoons. The monsoons always like just flash the
or somebody crashes into the power box sometimes too.
Yeah, that happened just like twice. That one time it happened, and that was the longest we've ever like had power go out. Remember, we had to pull all the ice creams. We basically closed an hour early because we called SRP and they're like, we don't get power till 11.
Yeah, you're right.
And so we put all the ice creams in the freezer because like, even though the freezer wasn't working, it was still really cold in there. Because I was like, these are all gonna go bad. So
it's a mess when the power goes out.
I remember I had to stay super late that night just to make sure that like
and it was scary
vegetables,
because all the lights were off.
Yeah, and just the emergency lights were on
in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
I should have probably went, but I was too scared to go.
No,
but
so bad.
So I think we should talk a little bit about what is Frutilandia, because we're always talking about it, and how it began and like kind of our story with it. So basically 3 years ago, I would say, 3 years ago, 3
years.
We came up to my parents and we're kind of like, we want to own a Frutilandia, and we don't even know how to start, but we want to. And my parents were like, first of all, in shock, because they were like, are you sure? Like,
well, like, I just don't think you had ever shown interest, because like your parents have been in the industry for years. But I don't think you ever had shown them interest in that. No.
And it's something that me and you talked about, and we were like, this could be like something really good for us. And like, it would be an easier transition, because I mean, I've seen my parents do it.
I just think like, maybe you don't agree with this, but like, in a way, I don't think that, like, I think you were so, you would hear about it every day. You would like it was basically part of your life that you never even put thought into it, because you're like, oh, like I don't want to hear about it anymore. But I'm like, no, I mean, what you have here is kind of like insane. Like, take a look at it, because like you and I like watching Shark Tank, and I'm like,
like,
hey, if Frutilandia sells more than half these products do a year, and here we have Mark Cuban clapping for him, and then you're like, you're right, like, you know, type of thing. And I mean, it's not your fault. It's just like, it's something you start to zone out, because you guys talk about all the time and stuff, that like you kind of, I could see why you wanted to do your own thing, but I'm like, hey, don't steer too far away from it, because like, look, listen to this.
I kind of was just like, I want to exactly do my own thing. I didn't really see the potential of like even us owning it. Like, I thought it would be so far out of reach. And you kind of, you know, shined that light and been like, no, like, this is a huge opportunity for us. And we can do it. Like, you and I can do it together. And so I was like, okay, so let's talk to my parents. They were like, I think they were kind of like, what? Like, they did not expect it at all. Because they know, they've been in this industry for years.
They just know the work.
Yeah, owning a restaurant, opening it from the ground up. They know the amount of work and dedication that it takes. And they knew that we were both hardworking, but they were like, no, this is like for the long term. Like, this is like at least a 10-year commitment that you're going to have.
And not only that, but I think they were just kind of worried, because like, they're like, you're young, like, are you sure? And it's like, well,
exactly.
It's not like you're asking them to do a bad thing, but I also get it. Like, they're like,
they were scared for us.
Do you know what this even means?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because they know.
Because I was what, like, I was like 19 at the time when we brought it up.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're so young. Like, we want you guys to enjoy your 20s. That was like the biggest thing for them. And I was like, I agree with you, but for us, like, enjoying our 20s is not like,
I'm not going to enjoy it on a credit card. That's the first one.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
What does that really mean to us? Like, we felt like in our 20s, this was the time to hustle it out, because this is where you're going to have the most energy. We don't have kids. That's a huge thing. Like, we have time to, if somebody calls out, we run out there.
And then from like everyone's perspective is like, it takes probably 2 years to get a restaurant like fully operational without you being there. And it's like, this is probably the only time we have 2 years to do that. You know?
Exactly.
So I agree.
we it took a while to kind of get them on the same boat. We were like, no, this is the time, we got to do it now. So we started looking at locations, and that was kind of scary. We started looking out like in Phoenix.
Well, we knew that the Fruitilandias would do well. Like, basically, we wanted our investment to be protected. So we're like, if you want to do well, go to a place with a lot of Hispanics, right? So
exactly.
We started looking in Phoenix. We even looked. How far did we go?
Probably 40 minutes out.
Yeah.
And definitely my parents were like, oh, more my mom was kind of like, this is so far for you guys, like, to be going every day. And I think we were just kind of so excited. We didn't really think about that, but
I mean, a lot of the locations were like extremely powerful. Like, just intersections that your dad found.
They would have been amazing and busy Frutilandias. Because of the area, it just would have been too far for us.
40 plus minutes, yeah.
To go, and that was without traffic, to go every day. So my parents were kind of worried. They didn't want us to go too far. The locations were kind of a little, definitely ugly.
Yeah.
Needed a lot of work.
It was no Gilbert areas.
Nope. They wanted something definitely closer to us. So that's kind of when AZ Mills came about.
Yeah, the Arizona Mills Mall. We've I think you and the lady that was helping you do the commercial real estate found that. It was what, a 5 Diner?
It was an old 5 Diner, closed down like
10 years.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's pretty beat up.
Pretty.
It was vandalized. It was everything.
Everything was taken out. It was completely horrible. But we were kind of like, wait, this is like a hidden gem. Like, this is really great.
Because of the area. I mean, like, you got campus pretty close. Like, Tempe. You got a bunch of students living next to it.
Yeah.
You got the mall. That mall is extremely busy all the time.
Oh, my God.
You got City of Guadalupe under. Like, it's just super busy intersection.
Great location. And it was definitely helped us because it was a lot closer to us now.
Yeah.
Arizona Mills is a lot closer versus like going to Phoenix. So that was like, we were like, you know what, this could be the one. And
yeah, no, and like 60% of the stuff I think we know for the business, like, that project taught us, like, SBA loan process, city permitting, like the liquor license, like everything that, like, it's been tested to its limit because of that project. Like, Tempe has probably been the hardest city I've ever had to deal with. Because sometimes I'll help my parents or your parents with stuff, and
just the negotiations literally took 8 months.
Yeah, well, because like the landlord is a pretty big company, because I mean they own the mall, and we had to get an attorney to read over that contract. It was like a 30+ page contract. I think it was way bigger than that, actually. I think I'm underestimating it.
Yeah.
But I remember the terminology I couldn't even understand. And
insane.
Like,
it didn't make sense. No. It was like another language.
It was.
And we finally agreed, with the negotiations and everything. And that's when we started
applying for permits.
City permits.
Yeah. And that took, I think that took about a year.
That in itself took a year. City of Tempe was kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we were adding a drive-through.
Yeah, and the
drive-thru ate up a ton of time, because they're like, Dutch Bros cuts into traffic, Cane's cuts into traffic. How are you gonna make this work?
Yeah, there's been past restaurants that have put definitely like a bad taste in like
especially City of Tempe. Yeah,
they were like, we don't want to do another drive-thru, so it took a while.
That took a long time.
But I'm glad we got the drive-thru, because I only do drive-thrus.
Yeah. So we ended up kind of like putting that to a side, because your parents were about to open a a dual concept restaurant in Chandler
with a commissary
to like feed all the
other Frutilandias.
And so I don't really remember how it happened. Like, I think that, like, at the time they already had 3 restaurants and they had another 2 coming. That they're like,
it would have been too much for them.
I think it would have been a lot for them. So I'm pretty sure they started like kind of entertaining the idea of getting rid of them. And I know they sold 2. Like, which honestly were their two biggest ones. So yeah, yeah.
So my parents were like, you know what? This is like a perfect opportunity. Arizona Mills is kind of taking way too long. And we just don't have time for the other restaurants. So that's when they offered us Gilbert Road, which is the number one Frutilandia, like the original one, for us to take over and buy it. And we were kind of like, whoa, like the number one Frutilandia. We were not expecting that, but we were excited, nervous. And we were kind of like, okay, like let's do it. So we jumped in it last year in May. That was the first one.
Yeah, but we went back and forth with that for a while. Cause, like,
oh, yeah.
You know, it's one thing to like open your own and like it purely reflects like your effort, right? But I personally thought it was like double the pressure because like, you know, not only do you have like a franchise commitment now, right? Like you have certain standards to meet. You know, that store has its own bar set because it's been open like 15 years.
It's the original, the OG.
Yeah, and then it got relocated around when we got it, like probably a year before or something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like that was a ton of pressure.
A whole nother level of difficulties because I think it was already running, which a lot of people think it would be easier.
Yeah, because they'll be like, oh, you already had the staff and stuff.
Exactly.
I personally think it was harder that way.
We had to jump in already with things already moving.
In the middle of a
summer,
super busy month.
About to hit summer.
Like we sell, Frutilandia sells like ice cream. The best way I can describe it.
What would you say Frutilandia is?
I would say it's like the Mexican Dairy Queen.
Literally.
Because it's heavily based around ice cream and like cold refreshments or like raspados. You know, shaved ice type mm-hmm. thing, but they have like food items, right? Mm-hmm. The only difference is like everything's pretty much made from scratch. Like I mean,
yep.
The amount of fruit we go through per day is insane. We literally have 3 ladies start 2 hours before we open.
Just chopping
the fruit prepping. For the fresh, like the chopped fresh fruit. The fresh waters we make every day, the mango loco drink we have that pretty much has like half of fresh mango on there. Then like all the toppings for all the drinks.
Pounds of strawberry and mango, literally, that they have to cut.
Our highest seller is the strawberries and cream, and it's mm-hmm. literally just chopped strawberries. But I did the math. I'm pretty sure. So I buy 50 boxes. Plus, right? Like,
oh my god,
this was like 2 months ago that I was like tallying up. Now I know we're buying more. We're buying 50 brown boxes, which each box has
4.
Yes, but how many pounds is it? It's 8 pounds, I want to say. So how many pounds is that?
Remember, you're the math guy.
Hold on, I'm pretty sure it's 50 per week. So I know for a fact, like in April we were doing around 400 pounds a week of strawberry, which is insane. Like absolutely crazy. And that's just one. Like sometimes I help out my parents and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll like yeah, they'll be like, oh, can you help us like find strawberry today? And I'm like, oh, I found it. I'll just load them up.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like 50 boxes in one trip. You know, it's like.
Edward hates it because they always ask you, what are you doing with all that strawberries? Everybody stops you.
When I'm at Sam's, they're like, are you making jam? I'm like, no.
What do you say?
Are you baking pie? I'm like, no.
They want to buy pie.
I just give them a coupon.
There
like,
you
I'm
go.
Like, here,
hey,
come check
smart.
It out.
Wow.
But
it's a lot of labor of fruits.
It is.
That.
It's just like, it really is a very fresh like concept. So like there's a lot of prep that goes in it. And there's a lot of room for waste, so you know we kind of have to control that. But
yeah, it's not like Jamba Juice or like Nectar, where like a lot of it is like kind of frozen, so it's a lot harder.
Yeah, and so yeah, we jumped into that like right away.
We're like we have to figure it out.
And it was like the busiest month I think we joined in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we took over like a May 1st, and I just remember that month like was insane. Like, shout out to all my cousins because like, and my sisters, because I remember like when we had call out, my sister would come.
Your family helped you so much. I'm like, God, thank God for your family.
And like my cousins, like I remember I had Justin like every other day, like helping me buy stuff because like it was so hot, like
your cousins
so
came
busy.
through.
Yeah. Then like Joseph came and helped, and then like Jonathan shows up in August. He starts helping too.
Yeah.
And then both of my sisters, like one would help me sometimes with papers, the other one would come on call outs. Like
it's just.
And then your parents were in the middle of opening Chandler, so you would sometimes be dragged over there. But like even then, like I remember you wanted to help, and like it was just so hard for you to leave because like we're just drowning in like responsibilities, and it's not like we hadn't prepared or anything. We really did. We worked there like a couple months before, like even like 6 months.
Training months
but
before.
There's just so many things like that, like
it's different.
There's a difference between being a business owner and a small business owner, right? Like,
oh my God, yeah.
So if you're a business owner, like, I mean, think about it. Like, I don't know, go to the extreme, like Elon Musk status. Like, he probably has a person for everything, right? Like, if his computer's down, like, he'll fix it. He won't fix it. Sorry, he'll have somebody do it.
Exactly.
But like at the restaurant, especially when it's busy, things tend to go wrong. That like, you know, here we are. Yeah, we learned how to prep everything, how to do everything, how to chop everything, how to like buy, how to do everything. But there's just things you can't train for. Like if your Square system goes down, like how to make coupons, how to like do a marketing thing for, you know, all your loyalty members, like how
there's so many parts we have to play. Like sometimes we have to play the cook, sometimes we have to do the cashier, sometimes we have to fix holes in the wall, we got to paint, we got to fix the toilets,
or like a light went out, like go replace a lamp, go replace a faucet. And
you had to learn a lot of like manual stuff.
And not only that, but it's like the floors get nasty, we move all the booths, clean the floors. So I mean, I'm glad that I have a big family because I'll always pull a cousin and like just pay them, like come help me out.
We're so grateful for them.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely not anything I knew about, but like definitely being a small business owner is like the whole package. It's probably everything. As you grow, like you'll be able to hire those things out, but like
you can't afford it at first. You know?
It just doesn't make sense. Like at first, it's like just do it. Like it's part of it, you know.
You got to figure it out.
But I think like that was the hardest part, and not only that, but we were accustomed to like going out weekends because like we had our weekends. Yeah. But then it's like, how are we gonna leave? Our busiest day is Sunday.
We had like we would have things planned out, like concerts and kind of like trips, and then last minute we couldn't go. And I think at first that was really hard for me to understand, and I would get frustrated. I'm like, but then I was like, this is our responsibility. Like, even if we have a concert, somebody calls out, hey, we got to cancel the concert, you know, it's fine. Yeah. But now it's like, it's kind of like our baby. Like if our baby isn't doing well, we have to cancel everything, you know, it's our priorities, our responsibilities first. And I'm kind of glad we have it because I feel like it helped me be a lot more responsible at such a young age.
No, for sure. And for the other thing is like, it honestly probably helps so much that we're both in it. Because if it was just like, let's say my thing. Yeah. Like, how would you ever understand that like, oh, I have 3 call outs. Like, I know we have Drake tickets tonight, but like.
I'd get upset because I'm not in the trenches with you.
Right. Like, I'll be like, at the end of the day, like I have a 10-year commitment. I can't just call up the franchisor, call up whoever. Or anyone. Like I can't close my doors tonight. You can't
close for the
I have a commitment to customers, to like people, like, you know. Yeah. It's like if we have a Drake concert, like we're not going, and it ends there. Like, you know. And like to somebody that's not like involved in that, like imagine getting hit with that. Like here you are at home, like doing your own thing. You don't even know what I do. Let's say. Yeah. And then I just call you up. I'm like, oh, no Drake tonight. I have to call it, and it's like it's just gonna look like. I'm not, like I wouldn't be trying or something, but like now that you're in it, or since we're both in it, let's say, like you kind of go, oh no, we definitely can't go because like we're down 2 people, and like Edward's the person in the back, you're the one in the front, like you know.
It helps that we're like a partnership, like together, because there's some things that I can't do that you can do, and there's some things that I'm better at that you're probably not the best at. So I feel like we really complement each other, and I think that's helped us grow. In the restaurant.
No, for sure. And then like, it's not even just like all business related either. Like I think, you know, we have like 15 employees, so it kind of makes you a better people manager. It at times you kind of become like
to be a therapist.
You become a therapist. You become a ear for people to go to. You kind of become a mentor. People start looking up to you and stuff. And that it is a lot of pressure. Like you have like so many people depending on you that like you can't in a way mess up. Like you're gonna drag 15, 20 people with you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that too, that we'd have to like kind of like maybe in some sort like a role model to like the younger employees that we have. And I think that's kind of fun too now, like being able to like motivate them and be like, you guys can take these steps and like in the next few years be so far ahead. I think that's something that we both enjoy, like helping our employees grow.
For sure.
And for me, like I love, you know, motivating the girls and letting them know like these are the possibilities. But one of the things that like is kind of hard for me, I love, you know, talking to people and kind of motivating them, but it's just the language barrier sometimes kind of like in the beginning was super hard for me to even get through.
I mean, it was that probably in a mixture of like, we were so young that like, I feel like we got a ton of kickback.
Yeah, they were like, these kids, what do they know?
But it's like, and that's why at first, like, we knew all the things that had to be changed and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the store went from being like absentee owner to where like they just had a manager drop in here and there to like us being there every day, kind of watching their every move.
Yeah.
And you don't want to become like a micromanager and like annoy people. So, you know, we kind of had to take baby steps into like turning the store around to like being okay with being supervised all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that took a while, and the girls that stuck with us that like were okay with it, like really, you know, I think they ended up understanding that it was for the best, and like I would say they loved the new environment and stuff.
Yeah. But we're probably a little stricter than what they were used to.
100%. Yeah, 100% we are. And
you have to though.
Yeah.
Because if not...
for sure, the ones that gave us the hardest kickback were like the older ladies. Because like they were probably just looking at us like,
they saw us so young.
You listen. I'm like, well. And
I think that like me, you know, growing up in this environment, always listening to like the talks and everything, and what you went through college and what you learned, like a mix of that helped us like really make the foundation for a strong team, and kind of like let's find every employee's power, and kind of like
the way I see it is like, I mean, no employee is gonna be perfect, but like if they're at least willing to try to like adapt and stuff, like you do have to kind of feed their time.
Yeah,
because it's like, I mean, the first step into like getting a really good employee is like, as long as they show you that they care about the job and they're willing to change or like try
figure it out.
Like, I mean, that's priceless to me. Like however long it takes, like I'll take care of it, you know?
Yeah. And we're definitely like, I feel like we see the potential in every employee. Like they could, you know, be helping us with like in the future with other stores and stuff like that. So, I
think the hardest part for you was like probably one-on-ones, right? Like if I'm like, hey, like, I couldn't. You know, we have somebody late every day. Like, you should talk to them.
In the beginning, it was really hard for me to, like, sit somebody down, and because I like to be very friendly and nice, but then you can't be too, like, best friends with them, because when you sit them down and been like, hey, I've been noticing these things, it's hard because you've been so friendly. So that's one thing that I really struggled, is finding that line and the balance of like, let's obviously be nice because these people are helping us day to day, but when there's some things that we have to bring out and kind of like, hey, let's make sure we're on time. That was something really hard for me to do. And now it's like, I can do it. But I definitely struggle when it's a Spanish speaking employee. It's hard for me to bring up things like, hey, let's make sure we're doing this in Spanish. And that is one thing that I still try to work on every single day. It's just like my Spanish and just bringing stuff up in Spanish, but in a nice way, because I think sometimes when I bring things up in Spanish, it comes off like really mean, and I don't mean it at all. And I'm like, Edward, like, how do I say this? And I'm like,
well, a lot of it comes like, you know, especially if it's to like an older lady, like they want like the respectful way to say it, like usted or something, and you're like,
I don't know any of that,
you know, this and that. I'm like,
I'm very direct in Spanish, and I don't mean for it to come off mean. I just like don't know how to say it, so I'm like, oh, but I've gotten definitely a lot better now that we've had it for a year.
Yeah, your Spanish has gotten a lot better,
so much better, and it has more room for improvement. But yeah, that's something that definitely I've struggled with. But there's been a lot of other amazing benefits, you know, that we've received from owning a Frutilandia and getting to know the girls and their stories. And I think one of those benefits is like being able to motivate them. Yeah. I think that's something that you enjoy too. Is like sitting them down. I think I kind of, my whole mentality on it is like, yeah, you're my employee, but like I understand what you bring to the table. Like you help me not having to worry about coming here because you're responsible. You help me with this, blah, blah, blah. So here's what I can offer. I've helped a couple of them, like, you know, kind of, obviously they already had the grades and stuff. I'm not taking credit for their work, but like, you know, guide them into college applications, you know, all the steps to take that I had to do already. So, yeah. So no, yeah, I mean, I would say that's my reward. I think that it's a good feeling. Yeah. Being able to impact their lives in a positive way. I think that's definitely one of the things that we've both enjoyed is like, I don't know, I wouldn't say changing lives, but like impacting them in a positive way. Yeah. So that's something that we've really, we've liked doing. But yeah, there's a ton of moving parts to owning a restaurant that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, everything. Like, even when we leave, I feel like it's not the same as like taking a day off of work. Yeah. It's like I gotta call 2 cousins and be like, hey, make sure you bring strawberry this day. Make sure you check on the girls this day. Then I'll tell 2 employees, hey, make sure that this gets done this day, blah, 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 blah. And we got to schedule an extra person just in case we have a call out. So it actually ends up costing us a lot of money to leave. But
yeah, when I'm like, Edward, let's go to Rocky Point, Cali, somewhere. Sometimes I don't think about the back end of like, it's going to cost us.
How much is going to.
But I think there's a balance in like work life and enjoying life. Yeah. Because it can't always be work. No. You got to enjoy it.
And I think that when we left for a week last year, that was like a true test that it's doable. You know?
It's doable. We just got to prepare a lot before
we did a month of like preparing.
Yeah. So when we go on vacations, it's not like we'll just pick up our bags and go. There's a ton of stuff that we have to leave before. And
a bunch of responsibilities to like shift for the week.
And then
not only that, but I remember that like since we went on the cruise, like we had no service, like I would still be like checking because I'm
checking the sales, checking the cameras. Yeah. So it is definitely a whole nother world that maybe people don't realize. So it's kind of fun that we're sharing it on here. And we'll probably always share like crazy stories, things that have happened to us.
I got a ton of them.
Oh.
You tell me, yeah.
We'll
you tell me which ones to drop
every episode. We'll have to share with you guys on another episode all our crazy stories. And we've only had it for a year, so I can only imagine every day something small or big happens. So hopefully we'll talk about that in another episode. But that is a wrap for episode 3, you guys.
Number 3.
Yeah. Thank you guys for either watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Don't forget, please leave a review on Apple Podcast. I don't think you can leave a review on Spotify. I'll have to check.
You can after you've listened to it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would mean so much to us. But
and subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on episode 4. Have a great week.